my name is Taylor and this is the SheaRaeKnitting Podcast. I'm coming to you from Cairns, which is in North Queensland, Australia. And this is a podcast about knitting and crochet and yeah. So basically I haven't done a podcast in a really long time, and the reason for that being is just I've been busy with work and I haven't really felt much like podcasting, but I've got a really good episode for you today. Got a lot to show you, a lot of finished objects, heaps of acquisitions, and a few whips as well. So what I've been up to in the past few months, working, and also I went on a really amazing holiday. I just got back a week ago today actually. So I went to New York City and Philadelphia, as well as the UK, so London, and stopped in Tokyo on the way back home to Australia. So it was really fun on this trip. I was able to wear my hand knits, and I can show you what I wore on my trip. If you follow me on Instagram, which is SheaRaeKnitting on Instagram, you might have seen some of the knitwear that I was wearing. So when we went on this trip, I knew I didn't want to take a big suitcase, so we both took just carry-on sized luggage for 3 weeks, and so I had to kind of limit my knitwear options and what I took with me. So I'll show you what I wore, and that they are also finished objects. So the first thing is the Humulus by Isabel Kramer. So this was the jumper that I wore the whole time I was away. I nearly wore this like every day on the trip when I was away, and it held up really well. So I'll just show you it. So this yarn is Knit Picks Wool of the Andes, and I'll see if I can find the colorway names for you. So the colorways are Dove Heather. Sorry if I can blur this out. And Coal. So this is Peruvian Highland wool, 50 grams and 110 yards. I have how many skeins and whatnot I used on my project page on Ravelry. I'm not quite sure how many I used, but I have a few left over, so I might do like a colorwork hat or something with them. So this yarn is very woolly. It's not super scratchy, but it's not soft either. But I found that I wore just a thin long sleeve shirt under it, and it was really, really warm, really nice. And even wearing this every day for 3 weeks, there's absolutely no pilling at all. It looks brand new. It looks like I haven't even worn it. So it's held up really, really well. And I should say also, I'm using a new video camera, so I just need to make sure that I'm focusing things properly, and so it might take me a bit of time to get used to that. But I'm really, really happy with this. The color work was really, really easy. It's just the 2 color, obviously. Just a really simple pattern, and I really, really enjoyed it. The fit is definitely oversized for me. It's quite roomy. There's a lot of positive ease. I knit the sleeves really long as well, so they come to about here on me, and that worked really well. That kind of covered my hands well in under my jacket. It's not too heavy. It's quite a light jumper, and I'm just really, really happy with this. If you haven't made one, I really recommend it. It's a really easy pattern, and yeah, I just can't believe how well it held up, especially wearing it every day. It didn't smell because it's wool and it's great. So really happy with this, and I recommend that wool if you want to make a jumper, a colorwork jumper. It's a really good budget option So Tri-Wool of the Andes by Knit Picks. The other items I wore on the trip were this cowl. So I can't remember the designer's name, but it's the Fail cowl, F-A-L-E cowl. I can put the link to the pattern in the description below, but it's just a beautiful, simple cabled cowl. And I knit this with some yarn that I bought when I was in San Francisco, was it like 2 years ago now? So it's just been sitting on my shelf here. So it's Shibui Knits Birch, and it's an extra soft fine merino. So I had 2 skeins of this, and this is what I had left. And it's just a single ply fingering weight yarn, and it's really soft. It's really nice to wear against the neck. This pattern was quite easy too, just a really simple cable pattern. I'll pop it on for you. So when I was wearing it in my coat, I kind of just bunched it up and zipped it up, and it was really nice and warm and really soft. And I wore this pretty much every day as well, and even for a soft yarn, it hasn't pilled as well. I've also just reblocked my Humulus, this one and the other item that I wore, just so they're nice and clean, and I'll put them away now because it's summer here in Australia and I definitely won't be wearing them where I live. But we'll definitely wear this again, and I really recommend this pattern. The designer, sorry I can't remember her name, but she has some really beautiful cowls and shawl patterns, so I'll link that down below. I really recommend this. And the final knitwear item I took with me was this hat that I knit. This is the Antler pattern by Tin Can Knits. I think this is probably the 4th one of these hats that I've knit. And I knit this with, I'll just show you the yarn. It is Malabrigo worsted weight yarn in the damask colorway. So this is just a merino wool yarn, and there's the yardage there. And this is what I had left. So I actually, if you remember, maybe a year ago, I knit a poncho out of this yarn, and I had 1 skein left, and it was just enough to make this hat. It's a really soft, squishy single ply yarn. So the thing I did differently with this hat was I did a double brim, so a folded over brim, just to try and make it a little bit warmer, and it worked really well. I probably should have knit it just slightly longer, but otherwise it worked out really well. So what I did was, if you go onto YouTube and search like double brim Very Pink Knits, she has a really great tutorial on how to do this. So you do like a provisional cast on, and you knit your brim as long as you want it, and then you kind of turn it inside out and pick up your provisional cast on with another set of needles and do almost like a 3-needle bind off. And the seam it's basically invisible. You can barely see it. It just blends in really nicely. There's no like uncomfortable ridge against your skin or anything like that. So yeah, I really like this hat pattern. It's really simple and easy. The cable is very easy, and I think it's a free pattern as well. So I definitely recommend that one. I also have another finished object that was a complete and total failure, and I'm very devastated about this. I knit a jumper for my partner Bryce. It was the first time I've ever knit him a jumper, and I really liked the pattern. I'll show you the pattern here. It is Forge by Martin Story, and that's the pattern there. So it is a pieced jumper. You knit it in pieces and then you sew it all up together. And I knit it with this Southlander wool that I got from Skeins, and the colorway is Bracken. This is a DK slash worsted weight yarn, and I will show you the jumper and then I'll explain what went wrong. So it's got this garter stitch yoke, and then it's just plain knitting at the bottom. So I found this pattern to be really poorly written. I wouldn't recommend it for almost anyone really. I would say it was very lazily written. Just the description of certain increases, you know, it's done, for example, in one section it's done this way, and then for the opposite side it basically just says, do it like you did it the other way but opposite. And I really find that to be really lazy. Like, just write it out and tell me how you want me to do it. That can cause confusion. Even though I think I did everything right, the size and fit of the jumper was just really off. It's really, really baggy in the arm area and the sleeves, and it just looks really awful. So I'm hoping that I can give this to somebody, because it took me, I think I probably worked on it for about 2 months. It was a lot of knitting, and it took me a day just to mattress stitch it all together. And I think also because it was in pieces, I couldn't really try it on price as I went, so I just kind of had to guess that yes, this is going well. And it wasn't until I sewed it all up and put it on him that it was just like, wow, this is so awful. It's so just oversized and ill-fitting, and just really disappointing, because I really wanted him to have a nice jumper to wear on this trip. Even the instructions for piecing the jumper together are really, really vague. It just says, you know, join back and front and sew together with mattress stitch. So just really vague on the details, and I really just didn't appreciate that. I don't know if it's the case for all patterns that are written for yarn companies, but this is a pattern that was written for Rowan Yarns, and I don't know, they just really, really basic with the details. And I did it exactly as it was written, but it still just turned out really poorly. So I don't know if I'll do a pieced jumper again, which is a shame, because I was really looking forward to doing that and seeing how well the structure, because apparently knitting and knitting the separate pieces and sewing together provides more structure for a garment. So I was really excited to see if that was the case, but yeah, I don't know if I'll be doing another pieced garment again. We will see. Maybe if the pattern is better written. Another finished object I have is a pair of socks. So I have this yarn, Knit Picks Felici, and the colorway is Jamboree, and this is the yarn here. So I had 2 balls of this, and I bought this way back when I first started knitting, when I first started the podcast actually, and I just love the colors, and I just love Felici. I just really like it. It's really soft, and it had been sitting up, this is like my sock yarn, up here for 2 years I think. And so as I needed some knitting to take on this trip with me, and I hadn't knit a sock in a really long time, so I thought I'm just going to take this yarn, took my 9-inch circular and I cast on the plane. And then throughout the 3 weeks, like in the hotel room, on the train, on planes, I was knitting these socks, and I finished them not long after I got back home. So I'm really happy with them. I tried to match them as well as I could. And here they are. So the pattern that I followed, the Vanilla Latte Socks is a free pattern on Ravelry. Obviously I just knit a vanilla sock, but I followed the heel flap and gusset. So this is an Eye of Partridge heel flap and gusset, and just their rounded toe pattern that they have there. So I just find that I can knit a vanilla sock but just get that pattern out to follow the instructions for the heel and the toe. So I think I did pretty well matching them. Had to cut the yarn a few times on the second sock to match the first, but otherwise I'm really happy with them. I really like knitting self-striping socks. I find it's really motivating, it's fun because you've got it different colours, and I also forgot to take a measuring tape with me on this trip. So what I did was I just basically measured the socks by doing repeats. Normally when I knit socks I don't knit a leg this long. This is really long for me, but the self-striping just made it really fun. So I just did a really long leg and then was able to measure the sock out by the repeats. And they're a really great fit. This is definitely spurred on some more sock knitting for me, which is good because I have a really big stash of sock yarn. The final finished object I have is one that I finished, well I lie, it's not quite finished, it's basically finished, it just needs a little finishing touch. It is a cardigan by Isabel Kramer, and it's called the Gramps Revive cardigan, and this is the pattern here. Sorry, my printout is all busted up. And I knit it with this beautiful yarn from Skeins in New Zealand that they don't make anymore, and I'm really sad about it. They've discontinued it. It's Silver Lining Lumiere, and it's New Zealand wool. So the main colour is called Clifton Stone, and this is it here. That's all I have left. And the other colours I have Old Rose, which is the colour at the bottom, which I'll show you. And then I have just a little contrast. Oh no, that's not right. Old Rose, which is my thin stripe of contrast, which I used this yarn to make another Isabel Kramer pattern. It was a shawl pattern. I'll put the name on the screen if I can remember it. And then the bottom contrast colour is this one here, and that's all I had left, that little tiny ball. So I'll try it on for you. So I really love this pattern. I did a short sleeve because I didn't really have a lot of yarn, and this is the bottom here. So this is the Old Rose colour here, and my other contrast colour. So it's quite a loose fitting wide open cardigan, and it has buttons, so the buttons will come down here, just a few buttons down the bottom here. So I wanted to get some buttons when I was away on my holiday, and when I was in New York City I went to Mood Fabrics because I've been a fan of Project Runway since it first started, so of course I had to go there. And I'll show you the buttons that I got and which ones I'm going to pop onto this cardigan. So I got this little bag of buttons here. And the buttons that I've decided to put on my cardigan are these little wooden buttons here. You can kind of see that. So I think they'll work really well with this yarn. I really wanted a wooden button, and they didn't have a whole heap there, so, and I also needed that small size, so this is what I went for. And while I was there, I got a few more buttons just for future projects. So I got this, it looks like wood, but it's plastic. So I got a few of these, and also this metal button as well. So I'll just keep them around until I do another cardigan that needs buttons. It was also my first time doing buttonholes on a cardigan. That was really easy. I really recommend that pattern. It's nice sort of oversized fit. And I'm not usually a person that wears cardigans where I button them up, but I have worn this one obviously without buttons, just probably 1 or 2 times. And it kind of sits really low on the shoulders here, so you really do need buttons just to help hold it together. And I think it's a nice look as well once it's all buttoned up. So I think maybe over the next few days put these buttons on the cardigan, and then I'll take a photo and I'll post it to Instagram so you can get a good view of what it's like. But I'm really sad that they stopped making this yarn. It's a fingering weight yarn. It's just really beautiful. It's a woolly yarn, but it's not scratchy at all, and they just have really beautiful natural colours, just really beautiful colours. I love all of Isabel Kramer's patterns. They're really easy. She's just got a great style. It's really effortless and cool. So yeah, I always recommend her patterns. They're really good value. What I might do now is show you some acquisitions that I got while I was away. Of course, you know, where I live in Cairns, it's a very hot tropical climate. We don't have yarn stores. There's really nowhere to buy really nice yarn in person, so I buy mostly everything I have online. This past year though, I've probably done maybe 3 online yarn purchases. I've been really good at not buying yarn this year, and on my holiday I went absolutely crazy in buying yarn and spent a lot of money, but got some really good purchases, really thought out purchases that have intention, and they will be made into something because I have an idea of what I'm doing with them, not just buying random skeins like I first did when I first started knitting. So I'll start off with the first yarn store that I went to. And the first one I went to was Knitty City. And this is the cute bag they gave me, just a little carry bag. And I bought 3 skeins of this Woolfolk yarn, and it's Woolfolk tinned, and it's just this really beautiful dusty pink colour. It's very subtle. And what is the yardage? Yeah, put that on the screen. So I bought 3 skeins of this. It's really soft, really lightweight. It's a fingering weight yarn, and I think I'm going to do a really nice scarf pattern. I just think this would be so nice wrapped around my neck, and so that's the 3 there. So that was the first purchase. I don't have a pattern in mind though, so if you have any suggestions for, so what is the yardage? So what will that be? 612 meters that will be for 3 of these. So if you've got any ideas of what I can make, please let me know. The next store I went to was Michael's craft store, or whatever it is, the big box store, craft store in America. I went to the Union Square location in New York, And the main reason I wanted to go to Michael's was I wanted to try Peyton's Croy sock yarn. So we can't get that here in Australia, so I really wanted to give that a go, and I got 2 colorways. So this is the first one. And what is this one called? Blue Striped Rag. So these two. I'm going to make socks for Bryce with these. Really, really like these colors. I think they work really well together. And this next one is called Singing the Blue Stripes. So this one here. So this sock yarn, and I also saw this skein of yarn, Lion Brand Woolies Thick and Quick. We do have this in Australia, but I have not seen this colorway before. It's like I think it's it's a navy blue, and then it's got all these different colors through it. It's not really showing up that well on the camera, but I want to do like a really chunky hat with this, kind of like what the ball band has on it. Although I don't know if I'm a fan of the rolled brim, so I'll probably do a brim on mine, but just a simple hat pattern. I think that'll be really fun. So maybe I'll break up the acquisitions and show you some whips along the way, because I know just seeing yarn can maybe be boring. I don't know. Since I finished the socks on my trip, I cast on another pair when I got home. So this is another Knit Picks yarn. It is Knit Picks Stroll. It's called Sunny Afternoon Hand Painted. So I'm doing these on my 9-inch circulars again. I really like these colors. It's sort of having a pooling effect. It's such a soft sock yarn. It's really, really nice. So yeah, just working on those when I'm in the car or watching TV. Just a really nice, simple vanilla sock pattern. And I think I'll just follow the vanilla latte sock pattern again to do my heel flap gusset and my toes as well. The next yarn store I went to was Purl Soho. I was extremely excited to go to Purl Soho, and it doesn't disappoint. It is a really beautiful yarn store. The way they lay everything out, it's just like visually beautiful. It's a decent space. The day I went there, I think it was a Sunday, and it was quite busy, but there was still plenty of room. You could move around and look at things. The shelves they have go up quite high, and then they've got, it's almost like a bookshelf sliding ladder that they have that they go across the shelves to pick the yarn out if it's up really high. And just their selection and the colours were really, really beautiful. So I did spend a lot of money at Purl Soho, and they gave me this bag as well. It's almost like a paper bag. It has the feel of paper, but it's a reusable bag. And this is it here. So it's a really big bag. One of the items I really wanted to get was another Fringe Supply project bag, and this was kind of like my birthday present to myself. I wanted to get a project bag that was big enough for like a sweater's quantity of yarn for like bigger projects, because I don't really have project bags for big projects. So I bought, I think this is called the Town bag, yeah. And this color is called Fig, and it's just this really beautiful dark purple. It's just a really nice size bag. It's got the handles here, the drawstring, pockets in the front, and also pockets on the inside there. So I haven't used this yet. I will use it soon. And this is the Fringe Supply logo there. and I just really like this colour. Really happy with this. I'm glad that I saw it. And of course, with the exchange rate, the Australian dollar is very poor against the US dollar and the British pound, so things were extremely expensive for me. But I don't know when I'll get back to New York, if I'll ever go back, and I just had to make these purchases. So yeah, I'm really happy with this bag. And the yarn that I bought while I was there. So Purl Soho has a lot of their own yarns in stock, mostly their own stuff. And this one is called Good Wool. It's Andean Highland wool, and this color is undyed. So it's just like an off-white, creamy kind of color. I think this is a worsted weight. There's the details there. So I bought 4 of these, and I just want to make a nice basic jumper with this yarn. Just an all-round nice basic yarn. It feels very light, smells really good, nice springy yarn. Not soft, but definitely not scratchy either. I think I could wear this with just maybe a singlet underneath. I wouldn't even need a long sleeve shirt under this yarn. It's really nice. So that was my first sweaters quantity. The second, this is almost a sweaters quantity, but it is another Purl Soho yarn, and it's called Line Weight, and this is the blue jeans colorway. So that's the tag there. And it's just this really beautiful blue. So I bought, this is fingering weight, I bought 3 skeins of this, and I'm planning on making, I think it's, I can't think of the name, it's a Jennifer Steingast pattern. I'll tell you more about it once I start knitting it, but this will be the main color of the jumper. And then I also bought another skein. I got this when I was in London at Loop London. Just a really nice fingering weight yarn, and I thought the brand is called Camarose, and I just thought that these together would be really nice. So that'll be my contrast color for the colorwork yoke, and obviously that's my main color for the body and the sleeves. But I just think they're really nice together, and just really nice soft yarn. This next set of yarns was kind of an impulse purchase. I don't really know what I'm going to make with these, but when I picked them up and felt them, they were just so soft and just really, really nice. So I picked up Blue Sky Fibers. It's their organic cotton. It's a worsted weight yarn, and there are the details there. So I saw this color and this color, and I don't know, I think I'll do something together with them, maybe a cowl. I don't know, it's so soft. I've never felt cotton this soft before, and I liked the two together, and I just had to buy it. So that was a total impulse buy for me. So what's the pink called? This is called Lotus, and this one's called Drift. I love this so much. It's so soft. Really excited to see how this knits up. So yeah, that's everything I bought at Purl Soho. So I will show you another whip now that I'm working on. I've pulled this whip out. I've had it on the needles for a really long time, and I'm determined to finish it. So it is a linen top, and where is the pattern? Let me grab the pattern. So it's the Snell top, and it It's just a really beautiful, simple linen top. I'll show you what I've done. I've picked this up in the past few days and I've done a couple of inches on it. It's all rolled up and crinkled because it's linen, but it's just a natural coloured linen. It's 100% linen. It's bottom up and it has like a garter stitch, a few rows at the bottom, and then it's just stockinette in the round. The yarn that I'm using is this yarn. It is a Cartier yarn, Lino 100%, so 100% linen, and it's 150 meters, and it's a 50 gram ball. So that's it there. So I'm just really determined to get this done. I think it'd be something really nice to wear during summer now. And I want to knit more linen. I want to sort of master knitting with linen, different types of linen, 100% linen blends. I just want to get to know linen more and make more things that I can wear sort of all year round where I live. Another little tip that I found is these balls, because linen doesn't stick to itself, they unravel really, really easily. So I found if you just put them into like a plastic Ziploc bag, and when they're in the project bag, it's not going to unravel. It just helps to hold it together. So I just leave them in here and just pull the yarn out, and they stay together really well. So that's just a little tip. So I'm just knitting in the round. I've got quite a bit of just plain knitting to do, and then I'll do the front and back and then join here at the shoulders. And I just can't wait to have it finished and block it, because I just think it'll be really nice when it's all flat and stretched out. So yeah, that's my linen top that I'm working on at the moment. So when I was in London, I loved London, by the way. It was really great. I cannot wait to go back there. I went to Loop London with my very good friend Louise, who is a really great knitter as well. And we went to Loop London, and I got this bag while I was there, because of course I spent X amount of pounds and got the free bag. And so while I was there, I bought this project bag as well. I just really loved this fabric. So just another project bag. And I'll show you the yarn that I bought. So I got this llama tweed yarn. It's again the Camarose brand, like the other little skein one I got. So this is 40% llama and 40% wool and 20% Donegal tweed. So I'm very curious as to how this will knit up and also wear, because it's got a bit of a sort of fuzzy halo. It's very soft and it's not really tightly spun either. So it'll be interesting to see how this knits up and holds up over time. This is a mint colorway. It's called Mint. And so I've got 2 skeins of this, and I'm thinking of doing a nice soft hat with this. And it's 100 meters per ball. So very soft. I've never actually bought a tweed yarn before. I've never knit with tweed. So that's just another fun thing to do. The llama is very, very soft. Reminds me a little bit of alpaca, but I can't wear alpaca. I find the hairs are very long and they just sort of dig into me, and I find them really itchy. So I hope I don't find the same thing with the llama yarn. So that's one little purchase from Loop. Mostly what I bought at Loop was actually sort of impulse purchases. I didn't really go in there with a straight out plan of what I was going to buy, but I just wanted to have fun and try some new yarns that I hadn't heard of before. I also got Durem Natura, I can't even pronounce this right. This is Serrano. So I think this is a worsted weight yarn, and I just absolutely love this colour. It's just got a really good feel to it. It's a really nice wool. I think this is a French yarn, and I think that's the colourway name there. So I'm thinking of just making a hat with this, and I also bought another ball of this yarn in this really beautiful pink colour. This one's called Quartz. My friend Louise picked this one up, and I just have to buy that as well. I have to copy you, I have to get this colour because it's just really, really beautiful. So I'm thinking 2 hats out of this yarn. And I don't really have a lot of knitted hats, so it'd be good to have some more options when I go to colder climates. And the last thing I bought from Loop was the most expensive and just the most soft and beautiful yarn. I just had to get it, had to try it, and it is Wool Folk Luft. So this yarn is just exquisite. It's so soft, it's so light, so soft. And what is this one called? Just says color L10. So I got 3 skeins of this, and I just want this around my neck. So again, I don't know what I'm going to make with this, but something for my neck. And it's just a really nice natural kind of grey, off-white grey colour, just really soft and beautiful. So really excited to knit with this. So that was my purchase from Loop in London. I really enjoyed Loop. I would say my favourite stores that I visited were Purl Soho and Loop. Loop just has a really fun atmosphere, a lot of good options, whereas Purl Soho is more, I don't know, maybe like minimalistic, and they sort of have their own stuff that they sell there. So I have one more whip that I'm working on. It is a fingering weight jumper, and I'm using yarn from my stash, and the pattern is called Snow Dancer. So this is it here, and I am using, so I wanted to try and use some of these single skein yarns that I have in my stash, and I really wanted to use this yarn here. This is from Pickle & Co. Fibers. She's a yarn dyer in Brisbane, I believe. This is the details here. So it's just this really beautiful purple yarn. I don't know if it's showing up really well. It's really, really soft, and I just thought this would be perfect for this pattern. I'm going to use this as the contrast colour here. And obviously I only have 1 skein of this, so that's enough to do the contrast. And what I came up with was, I went on to Knit Picks, and I just wanted to get like a grey, just a plain colour to go with it. And I found this was on sale, this Knit Picks Capretta yarn, and this is an 80% merino, 10% cashmere, 10% nylon yarn, and it is really soft. I want to say this is the softest yarn I've ever knit with. It comes in these 50-gram balls, and this one's called Moonstone Heather. So I'm going to knit the body out of this, and then that's going to be the contrast, and I think they go really well together. They're both very soft. This was, yeah, really good value, and it's really, really soft yarn. So all I've done with this, I actually got to where was about to separate for the sleeves and the body and realized my stitch count was completely off. And I think what I had done was, when you first start the pattern, you do a provisional cast on and you're knitting it flat, and then you join in the round. And I think when I joined in the round, my beginning of the round was wrong. So when I was doing my raglan increases, I was increasing too many stitches on the sleeves as opposed to the body where they should have gone. So I had to, a few days ago, just rip it out, and I ripped it back to the section before all of the increases were happening in the raglan increases. So yeah, I had to really pull quite a way back. So all I've got to show is just a bit of stockinette. I think at the end you pick up the neckband, so that's obviously not finished. It's just the provisional cast on edge there at the moment. But it's just a very simple pattern. I just need to pay more attention to what I'm doing, but I won't make that mistake again. I think it's wise to check your stitch count as you go, not wait till you're going to separate for the body and the sleeves and realize, oh hey, I've got the wrong amount of stitches on here. So that's the other project I've got going. So really just 3 main whips at the moment, and I just kind of want to focus on a few things at a time and actually make some progress and see some results and get things done. I can't wait for this to be done. This will be really nice. I will be able to wear this in Cairns in winter, and it'll be very soft. I won't have to wear anything underneath it. So I'm really excited about those projects, and I've got those in my fringe supply bag, my little one. So I gotta wrap this up because I have the air conditioner turned off and I'm like dying of heat exhaustion right now. The final thing I have to show you is the final acquisition I got in Brighton in the UK, and I went to a great little yarn store called Yak, and I just love this little mascot image they have. It's really, really cute. So yeah, they gave me this because I spent a certain amount of money, and I bought a sweaters quantity. I'm going to be making the Fern and Feather jumper by Jennifer Steingass. So it's a colourwork yoke pattern, and I'm really, really happy with these colours that I chose. So I got this Gilead yarn, and it's really, really, really beautiful. It's a Durham Natura yarn as well. So this is, I think this is a worsted weight yarn. Pretty sure it is. And I just got this really great, really dark grey heathered colour. What is it called? This is the colourway here. So I got 4 balls of this. This is obviously my main colour. And my contrast colour is this, if I can get it out, this beautiful pink. And it's the same as the other Durham Natura pink. It's called Quartz as well. And these two are going to go together. And I think they're just really beautiful together. I'm not the best at picking out colours, so I stood at the wall looking at this yarn for probably 20 minutes trying to figure out what goes well together. I really wanted a good contrast, but I didn't want to just do like a light grey and a black like I did for my Humulus. I wanted to make it a little bit different, and I think these go really well together. So I'm excited to knit that and have another good warm jumper to wear when I go on my holidays overseas where it's cold. And that is everything I have to show you today. I'm glad to be doing this podcast, and I can finally put all my yarn away, try and somehow fit it in here. I don't know how I'm going to do that, but I'll make it fit. And I'll be back, I'll say in a couple of weeks, and show you what I've been working on. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, and see you later.